Well, if I might have your attention, we'll go ahead and get started. Appreciate all of you being here for a very special day for a couple of different reasons. Let me take just a moment and recognize those who are seated on the stage before we get started. First of all, three regents I'd like to introduce to you. Ms. Kristen Bale from Glasgow, Ms. Peggy Loafman from Bowling Green, who will bring greetings from the regents in a few moments. Dr. Ray Mendel, who is a faculty regent and a member of the faculty in the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. Next, Dr. Carl Martre, who is the Dean of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. And then, of course, our special guest that we'll talk about here in a moment, but I do want to go ahead and introduce Martha Sandefur. And then, of course, our two legislators from this area, members of the General Assembly that are so kind to be with us today, Senator Nick Kofoglis and Representative Jody Richards, who will both bring remarks here in just a few moments as well. Today we celebrate the completion of renovation work on Tate Page Hall. Some of you will recall that this building was built in 1970. The original cost of this 151,670 square foot facility was $3.6 million. And I don't know how you get a square foot in a building that's built like this, but at any rate they still classify it as square feet. The current renovation work on this building included asbestos removal, painting, new ceilings, new carpet in most areas of the building, mechanical systems improvements, and the replacement of, and boy did I hear about these, about once a week, first from JT and then from Carl, and then from everyone else in the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, the replacement of 177 leaking valves in the corridors. I believe every time I would come down here, they would put out the call, and as I would walk down the hallways, there'd be buckets that you just walked around, and they would point out every one of them every time I'd come down here. So hopefully all of those are cured now, Carl, and there won't be too many buckets in the hallway. The total cost of the renovation of this building ran slightly over $750,000. So if you can figure that, I didn't calculate that percentage, but $750,000 to renovate a building, it was 3.6 to start with, and the basic structure is still here. Times have changed since 1977 or 1970. Just as a matter of putting everything in perspective, since 1988 on this campus, the university has completed or has received funding for future completion approximately $49 million in capital projects. And as I'll say in just a moment, it's due in major part to the two gentlemen over here, along with their cohort who could not be with us today, Representative Billy Ray Smith. And then we're going to give them proper applause here in just a moment. But first, let me call to the podium representing the Executive Committee of the Board of Regents of Western Kentucky University, Ms. Peggy Loafman.
Thank you. On behalf of the Board of Regents, I would like to thank you, Dr. Sandefur, for the many years of dedicated service to this great university and especially to the College of Education. This university is very fortunate to have caring, dedicated faculty, administrators, and we are very thankful for that. I do want to say congratulations to you and your family for this well-deserved honor. What better way to be honored and remembered than to have an auditorium that will be used by students for years and years to come that will bear your name. Again, I want to say thank you, congratulations, and we wish you many, many years of health and happiness.
Now, we've already talked about them a little bit, but I'd like to ask our two members of the General Assembly to come forward. You know, it's easy to take for granted all the good things that happen to Western Kentucky University out of our General Assembly. There are 8 universities up there competing for every nickel now that comes out of that General Assembly, all the community colleges, all of the state agencies and hospitals and whatever you could name all the way across. And we're very fortunate in our area to have 3 members of the General Assembly who stand united working for higher education in general, but very specifically for Western Kentucky University. They're always there with an open and attentive ear. They always have Western Kentucky University at the forefront of their thoughts, so when they're working on bills that will affect this institution or affect this Commonwealth. And for that, we're deeply indebted. And they are the ones who had the primary responsibility in making sure that we got the money to be able to have the kind of renovation work done on this building. It was so badly needed. So which one's going to go first? Senator Kofoklis, would you come forward, please?
Thank you, Dr. Meredith. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be on the Western campus, especially on occasions when we either have a dedication or a groundbreaking or a ribbon cutting. And as Dr. Meredith has said, fortunately we've had a number of these occasions lately, and we're very proud of that. But it is also an added privilege and honor when we are dedicating a building or auditorium or some facility to a person as distinguished as J.T. Sandefur, whose career here has been unparalleled and has contributed so much to this university and to its reputation. So I feel doubly privileged to be here for this dedication, both for the occasion of this of dedicating the renovation of the building and to honor Dr. Sandefur, who has contributed so much. So I'm very pleased to be here, and I thank Dr. Meredith for your kind remarks, and you can be sure that we'll continue fighting for those scarce dollars, and I appreciate the job that the President and the Board of Regents have been doing, because they're really doing more with less all the time, and I think we have to be very appreciative of those efforts that they make. Thank you very much.
President Meredith, distinguished platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a delight to be with you today and to be a part of this beautiful renovation and to stand here and see this room and think back in those in that conference committee and where we made sure that the dollars for this building were left in and kept in that report. You know, Dr. Meredith, you're so right. Dr. Sandefur and Dr. Martre, they got a lot of mileage out of those buckets. In fact, I told the members of the budget committee that we were spending so much for buckets at this building that I thought we would actually save money if we went on and renovated this building. And it is beautiful to see these tiles without any water stains on them, because they certainly replaced ones that had water stains. Western Kentucky University is of enormous importance in Kentucky. And one simply needs to stop and think now and again how important this university is. It's a privilege to represent the 20th District in Frankfort and to work for this university. It's a privilege to work with people like Dr. Meredith, who is one of the outstanding presidents, in my view, in the United States. It's a real privilege to work with people like Peggy Loafman and the other board members who have a real clear vision of what they want this university to be. And it's a great privilege to be here on this occasion and to think about the man whose honor we gather today. Dr. Sandefur, in many ways, is recognized as one of the outstanding academicians in the United States. He certainly lent stature to this university, and we're delighted, Dr. Sandefur, that this auditorium can be named in your honor. And I know it's a great feeling for you that your peers would come today and recognize you. Congratulations to you, many years of longevity and good health to you and your wife, and thank you so much for allowing me to be here today.
want to mention there's so many special guests in the audience, like my wife and so forth. I sneaked that in. But one person I would like to point out that who is here today is a dear friend of JT, and many of you know is Dr. Jan Weaver, who is the Dean of Education at Murray State University. Would you please stand, Jan? Let us. She's a fellow Owensboroan, so I got to be sure and take care of that. You know, that's right. Our College of Education has developed over some period of time now just an outstanding national reputation. Their involvement in CARA, the leadership provided that in the not only the development of CARA, where members of this faculty were involved in the writing of CARA and giving guidance to those in the General Assembly as they labored through point after point. But now that CARA is in place, this faculty here at Western Kentucky University is doing such an outstanding job of implementing CARA and assisting those who have that day-to-day task of making that come to pass. I think it was apparent to us that as we began to look at the renovation of this building and consider the fact that so many of our faculty went through unbelievable times in trying to survive through this. We'll talk about that more in just a moment, but it was apparent that this auditorium needed special recognition. It had served so many people over the years, and in this auditorium been speakers of national prominence. There have been thousands of students. The education leaders of tomorrow have passed through here and gathered to discuss educational issues. This auditorium annually hosts more than 10,000 campus visitors for a wide variety of seminars and professional meetings. It became apparent to a number of us that this auditorium deserves some sort of special identification, and it didn't take long for J.T. Sandefur's name to rise to the top of that discussion. That someone who had done so much for this institution, and particularly for the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences. J.T. served as Dean of the College of Education at Western from 1973 to 1990, and he raised the level of expectation for our students. And not only that, but you could see, and being away from here and watching all of this during that time period, you could watch the rise of Western from being a very good college of education, and everyone knew that it was a good college of education. But then to watch this college of education rise above that standard that so many people are in and start to take on a national prominence, a prominence of a national stature, if you will, and leadership in teacher education. And all of that started to happen under J.T. Sandefur as he began to move this College of Education forward. I've personally observed his national prominence after coming to Western. I'd always heard about it, but after coming here and being at a number of national meetings and so forth, had the opportunity to watch the kind of national respect that J.T. Sandefur had earned and developed over the years. He is one of the nation's outstanding leaders in the field of preparation of education professionals. The Board of Regents, at its meeting on January 22nd, took that occasion to formally name this auditorium the J.T. Sandefur Auditorium. And I think most of you saw that sign as you came in, the plaques on each side of the door. And J.T., now they're there, and they're up kind of permanently, so don't do anything weird here and after you've retired where we have to take those signs down now. Be good. Now I'd like to call someone forward to tell you more about the background of my good friend J.T. Sandefur. Let me ask Dr. Carl Martre, Dean of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences, to come forward. Carl.
Thank you, President Meredith. I am certainly pleased to introduce the honoree at this dedication ceremony and to have the opportunity on behalf of the faculty of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences to recognize J.T. Sandefur for the valuable contributions that he has made to teacher education across this nation, and especially for the contributions to Western Kentucky University. His dedication to the profession of teacher education certainly can be recognized through his long list of achievements and recognitions. These are listed on your program, so I'm not going to get into those. However, rather than focusing on this long list of professional accomplishments, let me tell you a little bit about the man, as they say, up close and personal. As most of you know, JT was one of the most, and still is one of the most, highly regarded deans of education in this nation. In fact, immediately after I assumed the deanship at Western Kentucky University, I began receiving phone calls. Some of your good friends, JT, Scott Westerman at Eastern Michigan, Jack Scalette at Emporia, Dean Jan Weaver from Murray, all called to congratulate me. Their congratulations all seemed to have one other message in it. And it had to do about following someone like J.T. Sandefur. Common thread was woven all through the message, and that was, well, you either have to be very confident, courageous, or crazy. Well, after conceding the latter, I was able to respond. Working with a person like J.T. Sandefur instills confidence in one and instills courage in one to make right decisions. Through his work and leadership as Dean of the College of Education and Behavioral Sciences at Western Kentucky University, President of the American Association of Colleges of Teacher Education, Chairman of the Board of Examiners for the National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education, and with the many, many other organizations that he has provided leadership with, he became recognized for his high standards for excellence that he proposed for the field of teacher education. In fact, it can be said that at one point, J.T. Sandefur led the charge for the implementation of higher standards for the preparation programs on a national scale. What many people don't know about J.T. is that his strong convictions and drive for high standards arose out of his genuine concern for the children in Kentucky and throughout this nation. What those of us who are close to J.T. know about this man, that in many instances gets lost in introductions on occasions such as this, is that his strong convictions and drive for quality were the result of him being an extremely caring person who is committed to the ideals around quality education for all children. JT, we in the college at Western Kentucky University are all proud to have been associated with you over the years. Thank you for your leadership and guidance. We all are better professionals today because of the things that you have given us. And Martha, all of us recognize the contributions that you have made to us through your support of JT. And JT, I am personally appreciative of all that you have done for this college and this university, and am certainly pleased to be part of this dedication ceremony. I am proud to refer to you as colleague, mentor, and close friend. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carl. President Meredith, Regent Loafman, Senator, Representative, distinguished guests, and of course, my friends and colleagues in the audience. It was worth coming from Tucson just to hear all those nice things. But it is indeed flattering, perhaps more than anything else, to see those of you who are friends and colleagues here this afternoon It's Friday. You could have been somewhere else. And to find Jan and Dick Weaver driving all the way from Murray. I've made that trip, Jan. It's a long way. And Ken and Dot Estes coming from Owensboro. And those of you even in Bowling Green who arrived here, as I say, well, you couldn't be on the golf course, but you could have been other places. I sincerely appreciate the honors that you have given me. Whether they are deserved or not, I'm still grateful for them, and if you want to do it again, I'd come from Tucson again. It's certainly flattering. But I would hasten to say that of these many accomplishments that have been attributed to me, that so many of them are attributable to a dedicated administrative staff and to faculty of this college. Because probably the proudest professional moment that I had at Western occurred in, I think it was October of 1986, wasn't it, Roger? When John Denton wrote the article that appeared in the Journal for Teacher Education. And John Denton is a researcher from Texas A&M. John set out to find the 50 universities throughout the entire United States that had contributed most to new knowledge in teacher education. And he used as his criteria for making that judgment the number of faculty who had written articles in journals, refereed journals, books, and made national presentations before national audiences, and who had performed at a significant level. And you've probably heard me say this if you've ever heard me speak before, but Western Kentucky University ranked 16th out of the top 50 and was only one of 2 institutions that did not have a doctoral program. And I think this faculty has proven that they can compete with the flagship universities of the nation, and they have done so. And I would like for you to join me in a round of applause to the faculty of the College of Education. I didn't see the response on this until I got here, so I had nothing prepared other than to say that I'm extremely grateful for the recognition, and particularly grateful for you, my friends, for coming here. Thank you very much.
JT, just, you can't take the plaques home off of the door, so we're going to give just a little plaque that you can take home with you and as a remembrance of this.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We want to thank the College of Education Behavioral Sciences faculty for their patience during the renovation. Those of you who have not been a member of this faculty may not realize they have absolutely been displaced persons. They have not had their offices, they have not had their classrooms, they have had to operate their offices out of their homes and make appointments, Lord knows where, to meet with students. They've had classrooms assigned from one end of this campus to the other. And there are a couple of people that on the College of Education administrative staff that had to live and die with this. And I'd like for them to stand and be recognized. Dr. Jim Craig, I know that we had a lot of the facility things to deal with, and Dr. Roger Pancratz, both of them very valuable associate deans in the College of Education. Jim Heck, Dr. Heck out of my office, I know was just about bananas as he was trying to work with Jim Craig to get a lot of these rescheduled. We appreciate all that good work. But a lot of the dust and everything that goes with improvement. And most things in life, it occurs to me, where things get better, there's a tough time just prior to that. Whether it's construction, renovation, or just moving on to the next level of quality, there's a time of turmoil that leads to that. And we've kind of been through that here in the College of Education as you've been displaced. But now we're back home, and we're settled in, and I hope that things are working out well. What we want to do now is invite you to tour this facility and take your time and move around through. And those of you who've been in it before, you'll see a remarkable change. And that those of you who are seeing it for the first time, I hope you'll see something that you find very, very pleasant. Out to our left are refreshments in the lobby, so I hope you'll take advantage of that. If you're going to take it with you, don't spill it on the new carpet. Be sure and protect that. But we want you to enjoy yourselves and move forward. Now, we've got, you know, I love dedicating buildings and cutting that ribbon and so forth, but we don't want to miss doing that kind of thing on a reopening of a building as well. So today's the official reopening, so if our spirit masters will come up and spread a little ribbon across here, I'm going to ask our stage guests to start down, if you will, here. JT, you'll be a part of this. You all start down front. Come on, come on. We're going to give you a pair of scissors, and we're going to officially reopen this building with the cutting of some ribbons here. So, and as soon as that's over, we'll be adjourned. And I gotta get behind the ribbon and stuff to cut it, man. All right. What a bow. All right. There's no shot here first. No, not yet, not yet, not yet. Put a guy in the leadership position and he goes crazy. All right, 1, 2, 3, cut. Well, we did that, didn't we?